Hello and welcome back. This is PowerPoint Module 2, Video 1. And before we get started, I need you to go into our Canvas course and save the files that I put out there. So you're going to save the 2-2 PowerPoint file. That's the one we're going to start with, and that's the one you see on my screen. There's also a new theme file that I need you to save. There's 3 picture files. I think they're called sign and bath and plate. And then there's 1 video file that you need to save from our Canvas course into your flash drive or onto the desktop of your computer, or save those files wherever you're saving the files for this course. So go ahead and pause the video, and do that first. And then when you're back, I need you to save this whole document as volunteer. So do File, Save As, browse for the location in which you like to save your files, whether that be the desktop or a flash drive, and you're going to save it as volunteer to the location where you save your files. I already saved this one earlier, so I'm not going to save it now, but I wanted to show you how to save it. Okay, so now that we're ready to get started, the first thing we're going to do is we are going to apply a new design theme to the background of this PowerPoint, so it's not just plain white. I showed you last week there are a ton of different themes on the design tab that PowerPoint has preset for you. But sometimes businesses want a universal look to their PowerPoint presentation, so they'll have a custom design theme made for their business, and that's where the new theme file that I had you save is coming in for today. So we're going to go to Browse for Themes, and you're going to go out and find wherever you saved the new theme file from our course. You're going to go out and browse for it. And you're going to click on it and apply it. And you're going to see it adds kind of a custom look to this veterinary hospital PowerPoint that we're creating. Now, whenever you're doing edits to design and layout and all of that, you know, the design ideas task pane pops up over on the right here to kind of, trigger your thoughts, kind of give you some ideas of how you could design your PowerPoint. I'm going to go ahead and X out of that for now because I don't need that just yet. Okay, so you can see how obviously the color theme for Windsor Veterinary Hospital is like a dark blue, light blue combo, and they have a specific layout that they want for each of their slides based on the new theme that I just applied to it. So now that we have started with this, we're ready to go ahead and add some transitions to our slides. So transitions is how one slide moves to the next slide. So sometimes you've seen them fly in or spin in or fade in. Lots of different options here, as you can see on the transitions slide, how one slide moves from the next. You want to be careful when you're adding transitions to your PowerPoint so you don't over transition them, right? Because there are some really cool ones in here. If you expand the box, you can see some of my favorite ones, or some of the ones that my students like the most is airplane or origami. And you can see how that's like basically folds the slide into an origami bird, and then it flies off of the screen, which is really neat. But again, you have to kind of know your audience and know what kind of presentation you're trying to put on when you are using origami, because it can be very distracting and funny. And if you're looking for a more professional spin on your PowerPoint, that may not be the transition that you want to use. So for the purposes of this PowerPoint, it's asking us to do a uncover transition. So I'm going to go ahead and select uncover. And then over to the right, you can apply timing to your transition. So that just means how long do you want the transition to take, I guess, to happen on the slide. So right now it's doing 0.75 seconds. I'm going to go ahead and reduce that to 0.5. And then I have to click apply to all. So that way those settings in this transition applies to all of the slides within my PowerPoint presentation. If you don't hit apply to all, it will only apply the transition to the slide that you are currently selected. Also, you can choose whether you want to click through your PowerPoint, meaning that you have to, click on a mouse click to advance the slide, or if you want the slide to automatically move to the next slide after so many seconds. Sometimes when I do the so many seconds thing, I have to do trial and error to see how many seconds I need each slide to appear before it transitions to the next slide. And that's something that's easy to do. Just make sure, though, if you want to advance the slides automatically, that you also apply that to all of your slides after you've set your timing here. Okay, so now if I click on slide 2, it will tell you, it will show you that uncover is obviously set on all of these slides because I can see it right here. But the book is asking us to remove the transition from slide 1. So I'm just going to select slide 1, and then say none, and that will remove the transition from only slide 1. Now, if I were to say apply to all when I clicked on none, then it would have removed the transition from all of my slides, and I don't want to do that. Now we're going to go ahead and click on slide 2, and we are going to do some animations to this slide. So on slide 2 here, we want to first add a registered trademark symbol after the K and back. So this is something that we did in Word in the Word modules, where adding a registered trademark is just an open parenthesis, a lowercase r, and then a closed parenthesis, and then it will automatically format it to an R with a circle around it. So what is Operation Give Back? So we know that that's a registered trademark. You can do that with a copyright as well, and I think that's what we did in our Word module is we did a open parenthesis, lowercase c, closed parenthesis, and then it formatted it to a copyright symbol. Same concept. Okay. So what we're going to do now is we are going to click the text box or the object that has the bullets in it, and we are going to animate these bullets. So I'm going to go to the Animations tab. The difference between transitions and animations is you animate objects. So objects on the slide, text boxes, shapes, pictures, things like that are animated. Tables, any objects that you insert on your slide can be animated. Transitions are how the entire slide itself moves from one slide to the next. So I'm going to animate this text box right here by just clicking on the outer line of the text box to select it. And then I am going to select the fly in animation option. So you can see how each of my bullets fly in, and then they're numbered in the order that they will be animated. You can change the effect options here by basically just deciding where you want it to fly in from. The book is asking us to change it to from left so that these bullets now fly in from the left side of the screen instead of the bottom side of the screen. Now we're going to animate the title. So I'm going to go ahead and click the title text box. And I'm going to add a float in animation. So it floats in from the bottom, but of course the book is asking us to change the effect options to have it float down from the top. So it changes that as well. So now you can see the order in which everything is animated, right? This is going to come in first. The second bullet is going to come in next, then the third bullet, and so on and so forth until we get to the title, which is the fifth thing that's going to be animated. These little numbers that you see next to these objects, those, if you are in like slideshow view, so full screen view, whatever you want to call it, you will see that those numbers don't show. Okay, so those are just there in backstage view here to kind of help you know the order in which you've animated your objects. Now, the book is now saying, well, why do you want to animate the title last? We want the title to be animated first. So we want to change the order so that the title is number one and then the bullets come in after that. So if you open up your animation pane, you can reorder the objects that you've animated. So they're listed in the order. So the first thing is the content placeholder that you see right here, the volunteer program. And that's the first thing that's going to be animated. And then the fifth thing is obviously the title, but you can drag and drop these into different orders so you can rearrange them. So if I wanted to drag this number 1 down, I would just click on the number 1 and drag it to where it's below the number 5. See the orange line there, and then let go. And then it reorders it to where now the title is the first thing in the list. So that's the first thing that's going to be animated. And then it reordered everything in that text box. And you can see that on my screen as well. So now if you want to play it, you can just click play all and it'll play it on your screen. So you can kind of get a live preview of what that animation is going to look like over here. So the animation pane allows you to reorder your animations. You can also change up here in the timing section, similar to how we did it on the transition slide. You can change if you want the slide to play automatically or if you want to click through the bullet points. And that's kind of just a personal preference on how you are doing your presentation. If you're sitting at a career fair or something like that and you just want the presentation to continually run and you don't want to have to click through it as people are kind of walking by, you want the presentation to run, then maybe you would want to change it to from on a mouse click to, excuse me, oh my gosh, sorry, automatically or with previous. And then you can also change the duration to show a little bit longer. And again, that's kind of a trial and error thing with the duration. You have to set the timing, play the presentation to get an idea if that's enough time. And then you can go back and edit it if it's not enough time or if it's too much time on a specific slide. So that is how you set the timing for animations and transitions. So now we're going to go ahead and move to slide 3. And on slide 3, we're going to insert a table. So go ahead and select the shortcut option in the middle here, where you can just quickly insert a table. And it asks you how big you want the table. We're going to make it a 3 by 3. And then say OK. And then the text is listed in the textbook on page 64 on Module 2 PowerPoint section if you want to copy it, or you can just follow along with me here. So I'm going to type it quickly. Description, date, maybe, and requirements. And then just hit tab, just like we did in Microsoft Word to navigate through the tables. You can hit the tab key or the arrow key, that works, or you can just click in the box. But I don't like to remove my hands from the keyboard, so I don't like to click in the box. And if you make mistakes, you can fix them or you can go back and fix them later. We're going to leave the requirements column blank for now. And we are going to actually delete it here in just a second. And the last one is annual fundraiser dinner. And that is Sunday, September 12th. Okay, so there is the dates that we want. Now it's asking us to delete the third column here. So if you just click right above the third column, see if I can get it selected here. I need to click off. There we go. There you go. Click off to deselect it. Sometimes you just have to click off in the white space for a second to deselect, and then you can click right above till your cursor turns to like a black down pointing arrow. That will select the entire column for you. And then if you just hit backspace on your keyboard, it will delete it out of there. And now it's asking us to add a blank column to the left of the description column. So just click anywhere inside the description column, and then you'll notice that you have the contextual tabs that pop up to help you edit the table. So on the Table Tools Layout tab, you can insert rows and columns in the row and column section. So we just want to insert a column to the left. So I'm going to select where it says Insert to the left, and it will insert a blank column for us right there. Now what we're going to do is we are going to insert pictures to inside these three boxes here in these three cells. So the first one is going to be the dog picture, the bath picture, and then the next one is going to be the park picture, and then the third one is going to be the plate picture with the money on it. So we are going to insert pictures into each of these. And yes, you can just go to the Insert tab and go to Picture and insert it and then drag the picture inside the box and kind of format it so it fits, but there's a quicker way that you can basically make the picture a fill. So you know how you can change the fill color on your tables, which is like the background color? You can make a picture a fill as well. So the easiest way to do that is just to right click on the box and go to Format Shape and then click on Fill. So here's where you would add like a solid fill color gradient, but there's also an option to add a picture or a texture. So I'm going to select that. And then I'm going to say picture source. I'm going to say insert, and I'm going to go out and I'm going to browse from the file. This is where you'll have to make sure that you've saved those picture files from our Canvas course so you can insert them. So the first one that you're going to insert is the bath picture from the location of wherever you saved the picture. And then just click on it and you say insert, and it inserts that picture directly into the box. So now I'm going to click on the second box and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do picture or texture fill, go to insert from file, and this one's going to be the park or the sign picture where it says dog park. So I'm going to click that and say insert, and then click on the third box and do the same thing and then add the third picture, which is of the plate. And there they go. So now we can resize our table and it will proportionately resize the pictures so you can see them better. This is going to be so much easier than trying to insert the picture separately from the Insert tab and then drag the picture into the table. It doesn't work as well. It makes your table all weird, and the picture sometimes gets disproportionate, so you can't really tell what it is. So now what I'm going to do is it's asking me to highlight all of the text in the table and make it 24-point font. So I'm going to do that first. And you can see how that's already going to expand our boxes a little bit and make the picture show up a little bit better. And then the title row, it's asking to make 28-point font. So that even makes it a little bit bigger as well. And then it is just asking us to drag our table. So the way that I grab the entire table to drag it is I click on the outside line border of the table till my cursor turns to a four-headed cross, and then you can click and drag the table wherever you'd like. And it's just asking us in the textbook to kind of center the table on the slide. So just eye it so it's centered. You could even expand it a little more if you felt like the pictures weren't showing up quite as much as you would like. Again, you can just grab from the corner handles and make it a little bit wider. And when you do that, it should proportionately expand your table so it doesn't distort any of your pictures. All right, so now you might want to just click the save button as we're working through this, just in case something happens as you're working through. You don't want to lose your work. Now we're going to go to slide 4, and we are going to edit this slide a little bit. So we're going to change the layout first. So the layout is just going to be a title only, and it's going to add a title to this slide. And we want to make the title I'm trying to think here. I'm sorry.